Home to the worst of the worst, Australia's worst serial killer used to call this place home. Backpacker murderer Ivan Milat was here for 18 years.
Oh, y'all ever heard of him? Australian most known serial killer. I gotta look him up. Shout out to the lads. Shout out to the lads. You clicked the title, you read the page. We are walking through Australia's most dangerous prisoners. I'm super excited for many reasons because one, I love being in Australia business. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a breath of fresh air being in America. I done seen all type of crazy, sick, twisted stuff you can only imagine living in America. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of feels good to know that we're not the only psychopaths on the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like it's other psychos around here. So subscribe for the vibe. Hope you feeling good. Hope you feeling great. We on the road to 3,000 subscribers. Shout out to the lads. Anybody that subscribed to the channel was a lad. If you live in America, you're still a lad. Let's get to it.
What's it like in Supermax prison? The entry requirements are fairly specialised, so it's hard to get in. But we're about to take you into the country's most secure jail as Ben Fordham gets unprecedented access to the home of our most dangerous criminals.
I think it's so cool how you guys don't carry guns. Like I think like as far as like the police and like guns are not like a big thing. I think that is so cool. I feel like we don't know what to do with our guns. That's why we always end up in some shit. Like I have yet to see a mass shooting in Australia come across my screen. Because you guys got some sense. I feel like America is just too loose with their guns.
Okay, Ben, I'll get you to stand up here. Stand in the middle of the room here, facing the boss here. Turn around, please, put your hands on your head and wipe your fingers for us.
This is my welcome to Supermax.
Is this really necessary?
Standard procedure.
Locked up inside, some of Australia's most ruthless criminals.
I've got to put some ankle cuffs on you now. You're going to have to lean up against the bench there.
We got some of the worst prisoners here, whether they're bikies, whether they're drug traffickers.
Yo, I'm screaming. He said we got some of the worst prisoners here, whether they're bikies. Yo, why they always bothering the bikies, yo?
Murderers, pedophiles, rapists, or terrorists.
No one wants to come here.
What am I hearing there? What's that noise I'm hearing there from another section?
And no one's ever escaped.
Bit of banter, yeah.
They're not happy to be here. Some of them have some very violent attitudes and some pretty extremist points of view.
This is segregation.
We've been welcomed inside for a behind-the-scenes tour. These CCTV images were recorded just last month. Every inmate who arrives or leaves is dressed in an orange jumpsuit. It makes them easier to identify during transfers. Once inside, they change into prison greens.
Facing out towards the wall here.
New inmates are placed on this conveyor belt for a full body scan. Before you're allowed to check in, they want to see inside you.
You got your lungs up here.
Oh, that's gangster. Like we want to see what's inside your body. That's gangster. Because, you know, in America, they make them bend over and cough to see if they got some drugs in their butt. But this is a little different.
Here, your intestinal tract through here, obviously the bones.
So if someone has swallowed something,
Yeah, it will show up.
no matter what it is.
Yeah, or if they secrete it.
Supermax opened in the same month of the 9/11 terror attacks in 2001. It was built in Goulburn, Australia's first inland city in southern New South Wales. These days, it's home to a wide range of dangerous convicts, people deemed too risky for any other jail. There's only a few dozen prisoners inside at any one time. Current guests include Mustafa Balouch, the outlaw once described as Australia's Pablo Escobar.
Now, if it's just alleged, then why they got him in one of the worst, most dangerous prisons in Australia if it's just alleged? Like, what's happening?
He was so keen to avoid facing a drug trafficking trial, he cut off the tracking bracelet around his ankle. After 2 weeks on the run, he was found in a Mercedes-Benz, hidden inside a shipping container, trying to cross the border from New South Wales to Queensland. If he plays up in here, he'll be dealt with by the immediate action team.
I see there's a lot of heavy kit around. What's this thing here?
This is a gas gun, which it currently is loaded.
This gas gun contains a projectile, which breaks into 3 separate pods when fired in an open area.
What impact does it have on people when that goes in?
It quells it pretty quick. Not good. Not good. It's hard for them to breathe. There's involuntary closing of your eyes. When that's affected the inmates, it takes the fight out of them a fair bit.
It was a fight back from brave members of the public that led to Mert Nay ending up in Supermax. In 2019, he stabbed a woman to death and injured another in broad daylight.
Now, what was wrong with him? I think he was on ice? He had to be.
Right in the centre of Sydney. Courageous office workers armed only with a chair and a milk crate brought him down. Mert Nay will be in here for 44 years, locked up until 2065. Other high-profile inmates include double murderer Malcolm Naden and killer Bassem Hamzy, the founding father of the Brothers for Life gang.
It's very strict. The regime here is very, very strict.
You can't afford to leave it up to the interpretation of others.
No, it is absolutely by the book, down the line, every single day.
Faith Slatcher is a formidable woman. She's got the tough job as Supermax governor.
What's it like working here?
I love my job, actually. It's interesting, it's challenging. Every single day is different, and every single day brings something new.
But when you're at a dinner party or a barbecue...
Oh, I get bailed up. I do sometimes just go, oh, community's injustice, if I don't want to spend my whole night talking about my job.
So this is Unit 7 within Supermax, so the worst of the worst prisoners. We're talking about terrorists, mass killers, people who've taken hostages, serious pedophiles. This is where they're locked up, in cells like this.
I don't know why pedophiles get to live. I'm sorry, like they should just do y'all have the death penalty in Australia? Drop a comment, let me know.
In this part of the jail, human contact is limited. The inmates are separated from others. For 23 hours a day, they're locked in these tiny cells. They've got free-to-air TV, access to newspapers, ready-made meals. And if they're well behaved, they get 1 hour a day in an exercise yard, but they're on their own.
I'd love to be able to say I love what you've done with the place, but there's not a lot of options.
It's pretty sterile.
It's pretty sterile.
And according to Kevin Corcoran, the Corrective Services Commissioner, that's the whole point. Next door, right outside these bars, is the old Goulburn jail, where prisoners doing time for lesser offences are able to work, mingle and exercise. The Supermax prisoners can only dream about those kinds of freedoms.
I saw someone exercising today, actually, jumping up on there.
Yo, they look like animals just stuck into a cage, man. Like, it's nothing cool about jail. Like, I don't understand why people love going to jail. You know, people, as soon as they get out, they back in jail. It's like, bro, why you want to live like that? Like,
jumping back down, doing a push-up, and leaping up here again.
So no equipment or anything like that?
That's right. It's jail fit, really.
Commissioner Corcoran decides who gets visitors and who doesn't. If it's a lawyer coming in, the meeting happens through this glass.
It wouldn't be monitored with a legal visit. I mean, that's privileged. But we would make sure that, you know, in general, they'd be speaking English.
The English-only rule also applies for family visits. Yes, children can come into Supermax to see their dads. Those catch-ups happen inside this room. But at all times, someone's listening and watching.
Is this a way of gathering intelligence?
Well, no, it's just making sure that you know, we're in control of every conversation that happens with an external party.
but what if it's a lawyer? Like, I feel like if it's a lawyer, they shouldn't be listening to a lawyer in a client conversation. That sound hella wrong. Like, I don't know about that.
This is Bilal Scaff, one of the country's most notorious gang rapists, being visited by his mum in one of the family rooms.
Now, why is she visiting him? I don't care what nobody say. Listen, I plan on having babies, and if I have a rapist son, that's no longer my son. I don't care what nobody say. I don't know who you are anymore. You are a demon breed.
Scaff has since been moved to a general population prison. Good behaviour can earn you that opportunity. And if you've got any doubts about Supermax being home to the worst of the worst, Australia's worst serial killer used to call this place home. Backpacker murderer Ivan Milat was here for 18 years.
Oh, y'all ever heard of him? Australian most known serial killer? I gotta look him up.
This is anti-drone
Netting, so they
netting
can't
up
drop
there.
stuff over the wall. You can see the razor wire up above there, stop them climbing the walls.
From the moment inmates arrive in jail, some are hatching a plan. How can I get out of this joint? Over the years in New South Wales, all sorts of methods have been used to pull off a great escape. In one famous case in 1999, a gun-toting Russian-Australian woman, Lucy Dudko, hijacked a helicopter, landed it in the prison yard at Silverwater.
What? They just said she hijacked a helicopter and landed it in the prison. What?
Jail and flew her bank robber boyfriend John Killick to freedom. That won't fly here.
Yo, I cannot believe that even happened. Like, how was that even possible? Like, where were the guards? How does one break into a prison with a helicopter and break someone out and fly out like nothing ever happened? Like, what? Nah.
Here, according to the New South Wales Minister for Jails, Jeff Lee.
There is no way in, no way out. Once you're here, you're locked in here.
The only time you get to leave is when you're appearing in court.
Right. Left leg up first, we'll help you up.
And most of the time,
Put your head.
you'll be coming right back to Supermax. Thanks, boys.
Yo, that is crazy. I'm about to look up that Australian serial killer. I don't know why, but I want to know. Like, I never heard of that before. Like, I never heard of Australian serial killer. I need to look that up. What was he doing? How did he get away with it?